Alrighty, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Cameron back here once again. I'm here to give you guys a pretty big update, going over the severe weather threat going over as we get towards tonight and into the overnight hours here. So I kind of called this morning in the live stream that we were going to have some kind of an upgrade, and this is what we got. We've got the moderate risk for southwestern Arkansas from Waldron to Mena to Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, much of I-30, that area right there, that is going to be the most significant area of seeing severe weather as we get towards this afternoon into this evening. So what I need you guys to do right now, okay, tag your family, tag your friends, tag whoever you can in this live stream immediately. This is a call to action to my folks down there in southern and southwestern Arkansas. This is a very, very serious situation. We're talking about the potential of an outbreak now that a moderate risk has been issued. So do me that solid favor. Let's go ahead and tag your family and friends. That way they can stay updated on the latest here. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna go over all the information, and then I'm gonna try to tackle questions because I'm getting a million questions right now about what's going on here. Okay, so to repeat, we have a moderate risk for severe weather from Waldron to Mena to Hot Springs to Arkadelphia, all the way down to Texarkana. The enhanced risk, which I was fearing, has been expanded further to now include the Metro, Crossett, Fort Smith, Stuttgart, all the way down to El Dorado. The slight risk area from Fayetteville to Jonesboro, all the way down to Lake Village, and then we have the marginal risk up there in far northeastern Arkansas here. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the breakdown. Let's talk about what to expect as we get towards tonight here. Okay, so here's what we got at this point. Timing has shifted just a little bit. I've tweaked it just a little bit. Trying to rush these graphics out so I can get the live stream going, okay? But this is what we got. So, Western Arkansas, we're still looking at around that 4 or 5 o'clock time frame. I know guidance is a little bit slower, but I'm accounting for an hour to 2 hour head start versus the guidance right now. So we're looking at that 4 to 9 o'clock time frame here, and you notice something immediately when it stands out. Southwestern Arkansas, significant damaging wind potential. We're talking upwards to 90 plus mile per hour winds, significant damaging winds, hurricane force winds are likely within that area down there in southwestern Arkansas. Then you have the red zone from Fort Smith to Little Rock to El Dorado right now to Crossett. And then you have the yellow area, which is the low damaging wind threat. But don't let your guard down just because it's a low damaging wind threat, okay? You will still deal with severe weather even in the very low and the low risk areas, okay? So that's going to go from Fayetteville to Searcy to Brinkley all the way down to Lake Village. And in northeastern Arkansas, we've got that Blytheville in the Memphis area over there. So for the Metro, I know a lot of people are kind of asking about specific timing and stuff like that. I'm going to try to break that down as much as I physically can. But the biggest thing is that zone time from 6 p.m. to midnight is going to be the time frame that you need to look out for severe weather here in the Metro, in southern Arkansas, and north central Arkansas, okay? Eastern Arkansas, it will be going into the overnight hours. So it's going to be very crucial that you keep your phones on, that you stay alert, you like and share our page and stuff like that. That way you guys can stay alert on any live streams that we'll be doing with warnings. That's the biggest thing at this point, guys, okay? But for my folks down there in southwestern Arkansas, this is my call to action to you now. We were talking about, the potential of enhanced risk and the moderate risk getting upgraded. We have now seen that verified now. We are looking at the potential of hurricane force winds being likely down there in southwestern Arkansas regarding the damaging wind threat. Okay, now let's talk about the tornado threat here. The tornado threat has ramped up significantly from what it was before. We're talking about from Fort Smith to Russellville to Little Rock, all the way down to El Dorado. You are now in the medium tornado risk. And I was talking about this morning, kind of fearing that we were going to see some sort of an upgrade, and this is what we've got. So we've got the medium risk area from the Metro to Little Rock, all the way up into Russellville and into the Fort Smith area. Southwestern Arkansas, Waldron, Mena, Mount Ida, Hot Springs. I know a lot of people are going to be camping. I know a lot of people are going to be out with football games, Friday night events, stuff like that. You need to pay attention to the weather. You need to pay attention to the weather. I cannot stress that enough. We were talking about it. We've been subtitly talking about it over the last couple of days, but right now is the most crucial point because we got a high-end moderate risk in place. high on the tornado risk down there in southwestern Arkansas now. The potential of a few strong tornadoes, some potentially long track tornadoes, will be on the table now, potentially even, and I hate saying this word, the potential of an outbreak down there in southwestern Arkansas, and this is going to carry into further northeast into the metro. So keep that in mind. Look at the timing: 4 to 9, 6 to 12, and then 11 to 2 over there in eastern Arkansas, 6 to 12 here, and then 4 to 9 over there in western Arkansas here. But I mean, right now, my call to action: southwest Arkansas. Everybody else, still take this risk seriously. Just because you're not in the red zone or anything like that doesn't mean you're not going to see severe weather. But my call to action right now, definitely in southwestern Arkansas. We've been fearing that for the last day or so here. But this is the tornado threat here at this point. Okay, now the biggest thing whenever you're dealing with tornado safety, okay, and I talked about this morning, but I'm going to reiterate it right now, and then I'm going to dive into questions and answer as many questions as I physically can. If a tornado warning gets issued for your area, first and foremost, they're going to be moving almost 70 miles per hour. They're going to be quick. So if a tornado warning gets issued, you don't have a lot of time to react. So you don't want to be on the top floor. You don't want to be on the windows, a room with windows, or a room with exterior walls. That basically means once you go past that wall, you go straight outside. You don't want to be in those rooms, okay? You want to put as many walls between you and the tornado itself. So that means interior rooms. If you have a basement, great. If you have a storm shelter, that's even better. Go in that. But if you don't have either of those, then an interior room will work with no windows. That could be a closet. That could be a spare bedroom in the middle of the, it could be anything. It could be any sort of room that doesn't have windows and it's not connected to the outside. That's the biggest thing at this point. But no place is outside. No place outside is safe from a tornado. You do not want to go outside and try to look for any tornadoes or anything like that. Your next action, especially my folks down there in southwest Arkansas, could be your last if you do that. So keep that in mind. I'm not trying to scare anybody right now, but boy, was that an update from the Storm Prediction Center here. And another thing, my folks over there in eastern Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas, I talked about this morning. Nighttime severe weather safety. Have that NOAA weather radio ongoing, okay? Make sure the batteries are good. Make sure everything is good to go. That way, if a warning gets issued, you're hearing it, okay? Consider keeping a flashlight with batteries just in case. Make sure you test out your generators as well. As you notice, with the power outage risk, we've gone extreme because now it's a 45% hatched, which is borderline. I mean, very, very borderline to a high risk, but I wasn't expecting an update of that significance, but definitely something that we're going to be monitoring as we get towards this afternoon, this evening here. But stay away from windows. Get into your room at the lowest floor. If you live in a mobile home, you got to get to a safer place. That's the biggest thing. If you live in a trailer, a double wide, or anything like that, I would call my friend or a family member or someone that has a sturdier shelter and say, hey, I need to come stay there. We've got significant severe weather on the board. That's why we're talking about this at this point here, okay? And there's a lot of people trying to figure out what's going on here. We're talking at this point. Everybody's kind of figuring out what's going on. But right now, I said before, my call to action is down there in southwestern Arkansas here. So while I get Futurecast up, I'm going to dive into some questions here, answer a lot of questions and try to get to you guys while I can, because I've got a feeling we're going to be extremely busy by the time we get towards the night here, okay? So clouds are now starting to move up into north central Arkansas. I do agree. The biggest thing is don't let that cloud cover fool you. You will still see severe weather for today. Hot Springs played last night because of the weather today. I'm glad they did. And they made a great call because now they're in a pretty high risk for seeing tornadoes over there at this point here, okay? Is this system speeding up? In a way, yes. Just a little bit. The biggest concern we have right now is the amount of instability here. And we pulled a sounding from Little Rock and all the other National Weather Service's offices, and it's what we call a loaded gun sounding. Basically, your environment is just ready to go. It's ready to go for severe weather, and that's what's kind of triggered the moderate risk being issued. So just kind of keep that in mind. But let's take a look at your Futurecast real quickly here, okay? So timing-wise, remember I had about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock over there in western Arkansas. This is what we have at this point. See if I can zoom this down so you guys can see a few more cities here. There we go. All right, so you can see right over here. Okay, there's a line of storms getting going. There's your supercells development getting going over here in northeast Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, and this is going to continue into the area here. Okay, so you can see by 6 p.m. it's coming into northwestern Arkansas here. Okay, now the biggest thing is with this particular model, I don't know if I buy just straight linear with this. This is going to be a combination of both supercells and a line of storms coming through the area here. So bear with me for just a second. I'm trying to get the other cities up and going so you guys can see it. There we go. All right, so back to what I was saying here. I don't know if I buy this particular run, because what it wants to do is once it's in a line of storms in, kind of mix both supercells and a cluster of storms here. But you can see what happens. Let's take this out all the way to about 7 o'clock. You can see a line of storms coming in. 8 o'clock's coming into western Arkansas, and we can take this out all the way. And you can see by 10 o'clock, we could potentially be talking about some warnings over here in western Arkansas, especially my folks down there in southwestern Arkansas. We are very, very concerned. Like I said, that 11:30 update came out. Boy, it was a jump from where it was before, where you had the enhanced risk 10% tour. You went from a 10% tour to a 15% tour, and it's hatched now for the potential of strong to even lone track tornadoes here. So a very big jump in the outlook here. But you can see by 10 p.m. there's a line of storms beginning to move into the metro. All hazards will be on the table, including the potential of strong tornadoes. Let me repeat that. All hazards will be on the table, including the potential of strong tornadoes. Okay? Any warnings, get out. I don't care if it's a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning. Take those tornado precautions tonight. Okay? Because of the fact that if we see something spring up and it doesn't go to a warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning, then you know what happens after that point. Okay? So make sure that if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning tonight, that you take those tornado precautions. That way you stay updated on the latest situation. Okay? But that's the biggest thing right now. But you can see by the time we get towards 11 and midnight, there's a line of storms coming in, and look at there. You're talking about the purples, the whites. Those are the strong storms that we're worried about. This is the main reason why you've got the upgrade from a slight risk here in the metro to an enhanced risk now, because there's more instability, there's more fuel, there's more ingredients coming together for the potential of seeing severe weather here. And the biggest thing is, I'm trying not to scare everybody. Okay, I'm trying to make this as calm as I possibly can. But the biggest thing is, when you have a moderate risk to this extent, I knew we were going to get an upgrade. I didn't think it was going to be this big of an upgrade from Storm Prediction Center. That's what's concerning me right now. They see something that warranted that high of an upgrade at this point. Okay, so you can see by the time we get towards 1 o'clock, there's your line of storms here, and I see why you have your torque threat across eastern Arkansas, because you still have instability flowing into this line. You can see that with the purples and the white colors kind of in those cells. That means we have embedded supercells within the line. So be ready. Like I said before, I know a lot of people, when they saw that moderate risk, I mean, it just jumped. Be ready to go. If any warnings get issued, we will be here. This is a high-end severe weather risk for tonight. Okay, so if you have plans, my biggest thing right now, I know it's a Friday, and I know everybody wants to go out and do stuff. This is not the night to do it. Okay, any plans you've got tonight needs to be postponed until tomorrow. I know there's a lot of football games going on right now. I know there's a lot of events, stuff like that. It needs to be postponed until tomorrow. This has gotten to the point that it's now you're talking outbreak potential in southwest Arkansas. Keep that in mind, guys. If you have any plans tonight, postpone them. Tomorrow's going to be a much beautiful day across the board. This is going to leave out. You'll be good to go for your Saturday. But tonight is not the night to be out and lollygagging around. This is the night to stay plugged in and stay tuned for updates here. Okay, now we can take this out to 2 o'clock, and you can see there's a line of storms from Jonesboro all the way down to Pine Bluff, all the way down to Crossing. I just look at the screen over there. We got over 700 people. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for being here. I really do. And that means everybody's listening. Everybody's trying to tune in and see what's going on. But right in here, there's a line of storms coming in. So timing, to answer your question, has slowed down just a bit. I just don't know if I trust the HRR. I don't know if I trust it. It's been a back and forth model at this point. Other model guidance is a tad bit faster than this. But you can see by the time we get towards 3 and then 4 o'clock. Now, after 4 o'clock, that line of storms, you can see how it starts to diminish. If it's just now diminishing at 4 a.m., that means you still got a good amount of instability across eastern Arkansas. So this line has the potential of being severe all the way through until it crosses over into Mississippi. And I would still watch it if you're listening in from western Mississippi or western Tennessee. Still watch it. Very low threat over there. But as I said before, things can and will change at this point here. Okay, so they haven't canceled any games in my area. I wish they would. I honestly wish they would. Let's go back and talk about that, because I know I got a lot of people tuning in right now. You're just now tuning in. This morning, we had an enhanced risk. Right early in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, I was live with you guys, and I told you, you're going to see me at noon. Unfortunately, you're seeing me at noon with about this size of bad news coming your way. So, we got a moderate risk in southwest Arkansas. The enhanced risk has been expanded to include much of central, western, and southern Arkansas. The slight risk includes much of the state. So, the entire state is under some sort of risk for severe weather. That's the biggest thing at this point here. Okay, so let me see here. I'm getting a lot of questions right now. Also, from Derek, this our chief forecaster Derek. He will be in the studio and he will be in the field. Once Central Arkansas is under the gun, he will be out getting footage and stuff like that here. Okay, so he's going to be kind of mixed mode. I'm going to be here in the weather center for the entire event, but we will have forecasters and stuff like that helping out and everything, so keep that in mind here. But that YouTube link he just pinned, go subscribe to him real quick. That way you guys can watch his footage and stuff later on tonight here, okay? And Dustin, if you do me a favor, pin that so that way people can kind of tune in and subscribe to him as well, okay? So I know everybody's kind of asking about the counties and the cities and stuff like that. The biggest thing right now, I'm gonna tell you, everybody's in the risk. Let's go over to the tornado risk. Real quick. Let's talk about that. Okay. Everybody, you can see almost the entire state except for Mississippi, far northeastern Mississippi County, and that other area is not in the risk. That's the entire state at some sort of tornado risk. That means you need to be ready. Like I said before, my biggest concern now, my call to action from Waldron, Mena, Mount Ida, Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, Hope, Texarkana. My concern in that area, that is the area of potential outbreak concerns. You don't see that every day. You don't see a hatched area for severe weather every day down there in southwestern Arkansas. It happens on high-end events like this, okay? The biggest thing is the medium risk from Fort Smith to Russellville, which does include, I believe, the Mayflower area here along 64. You're talking just southwest of Conway, Little Rock, all the way down. This is so much reminding me, and Derek, if you're listening to me on this, this is reminding me so much of that I-30 setup we've had in previous events, where you've had supercells just right up I-30, and you just start getting tornado warnings every 5 seconds. So keep that in mind across the board. I'm very, very concerned, my folks in southwestern Arkansas, but don't take that as if you live in North Arkansas or Northeast Arkansas, I shouldn't worry about it. If you live in those areas, you definitely need to have a plan ready to go, even if you're in that very low area here, guys. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just trying to get you guys prepared. Like I said, this is an update that blindsided even me. I was expecting some sort of a moderate upgrade. I thought it was going to be, damaging winds, stuff like that. Didn't expect it to be at this extent. You're getting to the point that you're one more upgrade, and you're talking low and high risk potential. But I don't think it's going to get that high, but definitely a high-end moderate with this event at this point here. Okay, so the timing is on the map right now. I know everybody's kind of asking about Jonesboro right here. Okay, we've got timing up right here. Let's take a look. Okay, so Jonesboro, you're right here. All right, Jonesboro, 11 to 2. Okay, this is why we have this maps up. This is why we have the timing along with the risk. That way you guys can get a visual on what we're looking at here. Okay, but 4 to 9 over here in western Arkansas, 6 to midnight for central, south central, and north central, and at 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. over here in eastern Arkansas here. And I think eastern Arkansas is going to be kind of a wild card situation. Watch that close. I know you guys are in the very low risk over there, but I would definitely watch it at this point here. Okay, so let me see here. So the sun's been breaking through the clouds all morning. In Alma, not good. That is, I agree. I do agree. This is a situation that you do not want to sun down. It's been out all day. Instability is increasing. We're getting all that low-level energy coming in with this powerful storm system coming in, guys. That is why we're so harping so much on this tornado threat at this point, because there's so much ingredients that's going to be coming in place at this time here. Okay, now let's see here. That's what I do. It's windy. My internet keeps cutting out, so I miss things. The more windy it gets. Okay, so if you're having internet issues at this point because of how strong the winds are, tune into the page. The page has all the information you need to know. We have it pinned on the page and everything. So if I don't go over here, we'll have all that information on the page at this point here. Okay, now let me see. Okay, so northeast Arkansas, will it die out in northeastern Arkansas? This is going to be a no. Okay, I'm begging you guys in eastern and northeastern Arkansas, do not let your guard down. I know it's a very low risk. It doesn't sound popular on paper compared to southwestern Arkansas. Do not let your guard down over there in eastern and northeastern Arkansas. It has happened time and time again in low risk. We've seen it over and over again. Do not let your guard down just because you're not in the red zone or the orange zone, okay? I don't know how many times I got to stress that, but don't let your guard down over there in eastern and northeastern Arkansas. This is not going to die out over there in eastern and northeastern Arkansas. The reason why you're in a very low risk is because of timing. This is coming in during the overnight hours. Your instability will start declining over there in eastern Arkansas, and that's the reason why you're in a low risk. But it doesn't mean it's a zero risk. You're not going to see anything. So keep that in mind across the board. So, Adam, great point. It's cloudy here in Little Rock. Here in the Weather Center, we've been sunny for the majority of the day. I'm not sure where you are in Little Rock. We probably have had some clouds here and there, but from here, it's been sunny the entire day. Will that hold the severe storms down? That is going to be no. That is going to be a no, because what's going on is your system is going to go negative throughout the evening and into the overnight hours. Your instability is going to be coming in even after sundown. That's what makes this event so dangerous, is because the instability is coming in even without the instability, even without the daytime heating coming in with the system. So keep that in mind. The instability will be coming in throughout the overnight hours. That's why we're harping so much about central and about eastern Arkansas. We know it. We know it. We hear it all the time. You know, it's a very low risk. It's a low risk. Don't even worry about it and stuff like that. That is not the truth, okay? It's myth. We've seen stuff happen in the low risk areas, guys. Don't let that fool you. You can still get tornadoes even in a very low or low risk areas. You don't need to be in the orange or higher to take this threat seriously, guys. Okay, I'm begging you guys at this point. Okay, let me see here. It will weaken somewhat going into northeast Arkansas, but it just cannot be ignored at this point. Okay, so do I expect the enhancements to get pushed further east? That question, I don't know. And it's a really good question. The problem is for eastern Arkansas, for you guys not to see anything. Here, let's go back to the main graphic real quickly here, guys, okay? And this is probably going to be my last live stream until coverage for later on, because we're getting a lot of information in at this point, okay? But eastern Arkansas, you're in a slight risk to begin with. I don't know if they're going to go further than that because of timing issues over there. Would it be going overnight hours? Your instability starts dropping off a little bit, but the biggest thing is you don't need the enhanced risk to take this seriously, guys. Okay, you guys are in a slight risk over there. I know northeastern Arkansas is in the marginal. You're just kind of sitting high and pretty up there. Northeastern Arkansas, well, you know, central and southwest is in the enhanced and the moderate risk now. Don't let your guard down just because it's a marginal slight risk, guys. Okay, I promise you, it will burn you in the behind if you do. Okay, so I'm not saying it's a guarantee that you're going to see anything. It's just something that you don't want to sleep on, because we've seen stuff happen in the marginal and the slight risk area before here. Okay, so that's the best thing I can tell you. Gina, don't be scared. Just be prepared. Have a plan ready to go across the board here. Okay, so I know we've had some cloud covers, some spits of here and there over there in Mina. I'm going to pull that comment up. Don't let that fool you. Basically what that was is just what we call warm air advection. It's just your moisture coming in over that somewhat cooler air we had in place over the last couple of days. Don't let that fool you, because what happens is after that, your environment becomes very unstable. and that's where you get the potential of seeing severe weather here. Okay, so it's sunny, very gusty winds across Jonesboro. We've seen that all day long across the area here. We have the wind advisory for much of central and eastern Arkansas. That goes until I think sometime tomorrow morning here. Okay, but here's the biggest comment right there. That Jonesboro tornado, remember 2020, that was a slight risk, 5% torque. 5% torque. It didn't go enhanced until after the tornado had occurred. So that's why you don't ignore low risk right there. The Springdale EF3 tornado, northwestern Arkansas, that one was a marginal. That was a marginal risk, and they still got one. You never want to let your guard down just because you're in a low risk, guys. Don't let it be a moderate risk to take severe weather seriously. That's the biggest thing at this point here. Okay, yeah, December 10th is a prime example of damage that can occur in the very low risk areas at this point. Okay, so let me see here. Michelle, great comment. I'm seeing a lot of comments, guys. We've had times with no risk and had them spin up. It's happened before at this point here. Okay, you have plenty of time. Dustin, great comment. Calm minds make better decisions. Ain't that the truth? Across the board. Okay, calm minds make better decisions. We'll get through this. If you've been with us since 2014, you guys know the drill by now. We'll have a moderate risk in place. You guys know what the drill is. We'll be here. We'll keep you guys updated on the latest situation here. Okay, so this is the time now to ask questions. This is the time now. I've got 434 people on Facebook. I've got over 100 on YouTube. Okay, this is the time now to ask questions. This is the time right now to ask questions. That's the biggest thing. You have any questions, I don't care if it's city, county, whatever. This is the time to ask, because beyond this point, we're in coverage mode. We're tracking storms, we're tracking warnings, watches, stuff like that. This is the time to ask me questions right now. So if y'all have that, please let me know across the board. Will we be live during severe thunderstorm warnings? That is going to be a yes. And the biggest reason, thank you for that comment, by the way, is because of this. Your damaging wind threat. Look at your power outage risk. Extreme. That is the first time since we made that new graphic back over the summer. That is the first time I've had to use extreme. That is the very first time I've had to use extreme, and it's only warranted because of the fact that you have what's called a 45% hatched damaging wind threat. That is the highest high for damaging wind threat outside of going extreme. You get it. You don't want extremes. Extreme is 60%. You know, that's the top tier risk. We're one step under that right now. So keep that in mind. But yes, we will be live during severe thunderstorm warnings. We're planning on doing that across the area here. Okay, so anything spectacular in White County, like I mentioned before, don't let that low risk fool you. I wish we could take that away and just be like, hey, this is a damaging wind threat and stuff like that. But we have to have that there because of confidence. But don't let that low wording or the very low wording kind of dissuade you from not taking this threat seriously. Okay, that's the biggest thing at this point. Okay, so is there a weather radio that I can get if I live out in the country and have no service? I believe so. I do believe weather radios do work even if you're out in the country. I believe you can get one at Walmart, stuff like that. If you need more information about that, you can send us a message in PMs, and we can get that going across the air here. Okay, so let me see this. Okay, Dustin, make sure you're monitoring comments, by the way. I haven't seen anything bad, but I did see that one. I kind of threw a red flag. Okay, so did timing change? Timing changed just a bit. I mean, ever so slight. It's just me nitpicking timing right now because I'm accounting for storms getting started earlier and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, you take a look behind me over there in eastern Oklahoma, we're already getting some storms starting to pop up across the area here. So it won't be long. That's why I'm asking you guys right now. If y'all have questions, this is the time. This is the time right now. I've got you guys. I'm going to be on here probably for an hour answering questions and stuff like that. Right now it's the time to ask, because after this point, it's all coverage mode at this point, going on warnings and stuff like that here. Okay, so what time is going to be for Carroll County? We're talking, at this point, we're talking right around that 4 to 9 time frame over there. Okay, and then it's going to start pushing eastward within time. So keep that in mind here across the area. Are we going to be out tracking? Yes. Alicia, if you go take a look at that pinned comment, Derek is going to be out. We have several storm chasers that are going to be out in this event. You should have heard them when I told them it was a martyr. A lot of them went like, what? Yeah, so we're gonna have chasers out. We're gonna have footage and stuff like that. We've been in contact with law enforcement and stuff like that as well. They're gonna be feeding us reports. If you're listening to this and you work for law enforcement, feel free to message us as well. We'll relay your reports out into the live stream during live coverage, and that's going to be the setup as we get towards the night here. But yes, we will be out tracking the storm as well here. Okay, so yeah, Yell County's in the enhanced risk area. Stay alert. So let's go over to that tornado threat real quick. I see one from El Dorado, my hometown, by the way. So it's El Dorado in the red zone for 15%. You're just outside of it. I mean, it's just outside of Magnolia at this point, but you're in a 10%. You're in a 10% area. So keep that in mind. That medium tornado risk is there for a reason. It's there because there's confidence of the potential of seeing tornadoes. Okay, so watch the situation closely at this current time here. Okay, let me see here. Timing for the Queen. It's right there on your screen. 4 to 9 p.m. at this point. Okay, our local our local police department is 10 minutes away from our home. Would we have enough time to make it there? They have a storm shelter. Here's the thing: any warnings get issued tonight, anybody that's downstream is going to have an hour advanced warning. That is our setup here at Arkansas Weather Watchers. We always try to give people downstream at least 30 minutes to an hour before the storm starts getting towards their area. So if something starts impacting your specific area and you hear us call your city out, even if it's not under a warning, go ahead and go. Just go ahead and go, because these storms are going to be moving 60, 70 miles per hour. That way you have time to get there. 10 minutes is more than enough time to get there. We're going to try to at least give you about 30, perhaps as high as an hour leeway time before the storm gets to your area here. But if that happens with anybody tonight, you hear us call your name in downstream cities, go ahead and take your tornado precautions. Go ahead and go, because you don't have a lot of time to react here, okay? What is your thoughts on Central Arkansas? How may it go tonight? My thoughts in Central Arkansas here, concerned. I'm pretty concerned. I was looking at data this morning. It's been back and forth, but definitely concerned. Gut feeling, I say we're going to be pretty busy tonight in Central Arkansas. I don't like that I-30 setup. And if you're a storm chaser, you're a weather enthusiast, you know what I'm talking about when I mean I-30 setups. We've seen it happen before, where we've had tornado events come up I-30 and just do their thing. So that's why I'm raising the red flag for Central Arkansas. I'm concerned about that. These I-30 setups never end well for us here in Central Arkansas, but we'll watch it closely at this point here. Can we show Futurecast? I clicked on the wrong question. Can we show the Futurecast again? Give me 1 second. Let's switch this over. There it is. So we're going to go back over to Futurecast real quick. And there it is. Okay, so let's go hour by hour. Okay, so you can see 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Watch these cells over here in western Arkansas as well. I don't think they're going to do much, but this particular model is wanting to do that. And you can see, let's take this out all the way from the storm starting to come in. So 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, from Fayetteville to Bentonville to Fort Smith to Mena, Texarkana, all the way down. You need to be watching this closely. And I want to stress something with this Futurecast model. It's not going to be 100% accurate with radar. It's not going to be 100% accurate. That's why we have the time zone on our graphics, because the Futurecast is not 100% guaranteed that it's going to happen. It's a simulated radar. It means it just gives you an idea on what radar may actually look like. It isn't 100% guaranteed that it's going to happen. So keep that in mind with the Futurecast here. But you can see by 9 p.m. it's coming into western Arkansas at this point. I do believe it's going to be a little earlier than this. I don't like how the HR is slowing this down and trying to form this into a line. I do believe it's going to be much earlier than this. That's why I sounded the red flag for that 5, 6 o'clock time frame over there in western Arkansas, because I think this is going to come in probably an hour, 2 hours earlier than what guidance is suggesting at this point. Let's take this out to 10 o'clock, okay? So now it's starting to make its way towards central Arkansas. Also, notice something. You see those cells starting to pop up near the metro. We got some cells in southeastern Arkansas, down there in Texarkana. Those are going to be the cells that you're going to have to watch. Any cells that get going ahead of the line needs to be watched for tornado potential. That's the most concerning part for my folks down there in southwest Arkansas. You guys are going to be dealing with what we call discrete supercells. And those supercells normally produce higher end tornado risk. That's why you're in a 15% hatch, or the high hatch for the potential seeing significant tornadoes down there, okay? Rest of the state, you're in a lower risk because you won't be dealing with supercells. You'll be dealing with a line of storms. But the problem is, the line of storms, tornado warning happens, your reaction time is going to have to be quick. So keep that in mind across the area. That's why I don't like putting very low or low labels on stuff, because people hear that and they immediately just tune it out because it's low. But it doesn't mean zero. It doesn't mean nothing's going to happen. So keep that in mind across the board. But you can see 11 o'clock starts coming into central Arkansas. So remember that time frame we had. I honestly think it's gonna be an hour or two before this. Don't be shocked if we start coverage about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. But watch these cells closer. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this situation very, very close in here. But we're talking around 10, 11 o'clock this tonight, coming into central Arkansas, north central, and southern Arkansas. And then you can see by the time we get towards 1 a.m., there's your line of storms moving through the area. Okay, so from Conway to Little Rock to Camden to El Dorado, those are timing questions right now. This is the time to pay attention up towards Mount Home. This is the concern that I have at this point. This is what I'm going to watch very closely, those line of storms. Any areas of rotation along that line will immediately be tornado concern. Okay, if you see us say something before a warning, take your tornado precautions, because LZK, Last Road Service in Little Rock, they're going to be working their tails off trying to warn every single area of rotation. They're going to be trying to warn every single bit of rotation, and it's not humanly possible. So it is our job to help them out. That way, hey, if there's area of rotation and they can't get to it, we can at least let you guys know, and that way y'all are in safety. That way, if it doesn't go to warn and a tornado does happen and it goes up very quickly, you're good to go. Okay, so keep that in mind here. But you can see by 1 a.m., like I said before, don't take this timing 100% guaranteed with this Futurecast radar. I think it's going to be an hour or two before it's all said and done. I think it's going to be a little earlier than this. And then you can see by 3 a.m., Jonesboro, Brinkley, down towards Stuttgart, DeWitt, down towards Monticello, Crossett, over there in Ashley County. Watch this situation closely. That line of storms is going to be moving in about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I think, like I said before, just a gut feeling, I think it's going to be closer to that 1, 2 o'clock time frame versus 3 o'clock. But we'll have to wait and see on what happens with real-time data at this point. And then let's take this out just a little bit further. And you can see there's your line of storms right there coming along the Mississippi River by the time we get towards 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So we should be done by 4 to 5 a.m. in the morning. It's going to be a very, very long night for us here in Arkansas to get this thing out of here. But once it gets out of here, you have any plans on Saturday, you are good to go at this point, okay? The biggest thing, and I'm getting a lot of questions about this, okay? The strong tornado potential is there. The biggest thing I want to talk to you guys about, okay? And I know, on paper, it does not sound like a big deal. Do not let this damaging wind threat be ignored. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. It is a significant damaging wind threat for a reason. I get the tornado threat. That tornado word is terrifying. But damaging winds needs to have that same respect, because the thing is, you can still get significant damaging winds with this. This thing is not hatched for no reason. You can still get significant damaging winds. So please keep that in mind. But for the tornado threat, let's talk about that. The strong tornado potential from Waldron to Mena to Mount Ida, Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, Lone I-30, Hot Springs, Texarkana, and DeQueen, and Ashdown down there. I don't know why Ashdown's not in there, but right in that area where you see that hatched line, that is where the significant tornado potential will be, and that is where the highest tornado threat will be. The medium risk from along I-40, Fort Smith, Russellville, just southwest of Conway, the Metro, all the way down to El Dorado, along I-167. Watch that close. You're in a 10% for a reason. That is why we're stressing so much about this tornado threat. Fayetteville, Harrison, Mountain View, all the way down to Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, Monticello, Crossett. You're in a low risk for the tornado threat. Don't let that low wording sway you away, okay? And then you have the very low threat from Batesville to Walnut Ridge to Jonesboro to Memphis, all the way down to Lake Village. Like I said, don't place labels on this event. Everybody across the state needs to watch this event closely, because this could impact all 75 counties, regardless of what the risk is across the board. This is simply confidence. This is just confidence. This is not a 100% guarantee that you're going to see a tornado, or is a 100% guarantee that you're not going to see a tornado. This is just confidence. It's saying, hey, your area is in a risk for seeing tornadoes, and you need to be ready to go across the board. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, Mama Donna, I saw that. Yeah, I actually was talking to you a couple hours ago. I told you earlier. I said we'll have to watch that threat and see if we would get upgraded. And lo and behold, it upgraded. So will this be capable of being upgraded to an extreme risk, or we're going to be holding tight at a 4? We're going to be holding tight at a 4. You're not going to get an extreme out of this. It's very, very tough to get an extreme risk for either tornadoes or damaging winds. That's the thing. It's not going to happen with this event, because you need a lot more instability. You need a lot more ingredients to come together to get the extreme, and it's not going to happen. We're going to hold tight at 4 for this event. The biggest thing is, don't place labels on that risk. Know what to do. Be ready to go. Have a plan ready to go for what's not here. That's the biggest thing I can tell you across the board. Stacy, Texarkana is in the high area. You need to be taking those tornado precautions. You need to be having that mindset, saying, hey, there's a warning that goes out. Boom, I need to be ready to go. Okay, so Rose, great point. Okay, I love that comment. I love it. Every risk I'm going to treat like a high risk, because I know some people start becoming prepared at a high risk, but hardly ever get prepared for a lower risk, which is sad, because I mean, we've seen so many significant events happen in lower risk areas. It's not even funny. But I love that comment. Treat every risk like you would if it was a high risk, even if it's a marginal threat or a slight risk, something like that. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but I'm just trying to preach that to people, because I know it's getting ready to happen tonight. I know it's getting ready to happen, and there's going to be a lot of people coming, asking questions, stuff like that, even if they're in the low risk areas here. Okay, so no high risk has been issued. This is just a high confidence level at this point here. But the power outages, I think that's the one thing that's being ignored right now. That's extreme for a reason. Keep that in mind, guys. You got to make sure you have your batteries charged. I had a battery pack earlier. I don't know. I lost it again somewhere around here. But have a battery pack ready to go. Test out your generators. Make sure you're good to go. That way, if you lose power, you don't have to worry about it. Okay? So, the hail threat. The hail threat with this event, I believe, if I'm correct, let me take a look at that on our side over here. I don't think the hail threat was significant enough. Let's take a look at that real quick. Okay, yeah, they left the hail threat as it was earlier. So the hail threat with this, and I know with such a high-end tornado threat, you think, oh man, we're fixing to get softball-sized hail or something like that. No. The hail threat with this is actually relatively low. It's just the problem is you're getting the strong tornado potential because of how much wind energy combined with how much instability you have. Yes, you will have some instances of hail, but it's not going to be like softballs falling out of the sky or anything like that. It's just you're going to have to watch for that tornado potential at this point here. Okay, so how bad are we going to get in Warren and what we're going to get? I'm in the mobile home. Ashton, the biggest thing I tell you right now, if you're in a mobile home, talk to a friend, talk to a family member. Tell them, hey, I need to stay. I need to stay here. If you can't get that to happen, try to look at your surroundings. Say, hey, is there a grocery store? Is there a gas station? You know, something nearby. That way, if a tornado warning gets issued, you can get there quick. Because storm motions are going to be ridiculous tonight. I'm warning you guys now. We're talking 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. Not 60 mile winds. 50 to 60 mile per hour moving storms. Potentially even higher, especially down there in southwestern Arkansas. It's not going to be a pretty night, folks. You need to be ready to go at this point. I know it's a Friday night, but this is one Friday night that you're going to be wanting to sit out of this one at this point. Also, I see comments about the TorCon. We don't do TorCon here. You'll never see me do a TorCon. I don't have that enough. I'm not Dr. Greg Forbes. I don't have his confidence to do a TorCon. So you'll never see it. You'll never see us do a TorCon here. But basically, what this is just a breakdown of the entire risk. Because this risk right here is actually from the Storm Prediction Center. It's just us breaking it down. That way, you can kind of get a visualization of, hey, this is where this is going to be, and where is that going to be, and a time frame and stuff like that. Okay, so let me see here. We'll go over questions real quick. Okay, so why does the central portion of the state have a longer time frame from the west? Nicole, great point with that. So basically what happens with this event, and this is why I'm raising the red flag for Central Arkansas. let's go over to model guidance real quick. Let's go to model guidance real quick. Let's see if I can try to pull this up and show you guys that real fast here. I did not mean to do that. There it is. Okay, I'm going to show you why it slows down. There is what we call a confluence band right there in central Arkansas. I did not mean to go that far back, but let's take it out just a bit, okay? Right here. First and foremost, HR is going to be off about this. I'm thinking it's going to be about 11 midnight when this comes in. But there's a second line that develops from Harrison all the way down to Texarkana. You saw it earlier runs, but you're not going to see with this one. But basically what happens is two lines merge into one. That's why I'm raising the red flag for us in Central Arkansas, because I do believe during that period, I think you will have a tornado threat. I think they made a really good call about moving that medium risk up to the metro just to account for that tornado potential while this thing is merging together, and then it's going to move east. So I've accounted for that little bit of a slowdown right there in Central Arkansas, and then it will move east. But that is a great question across the board here. I see a lot of people saying I stay calm. That's the biggest thing. If I'm calm, it's a vibe thing. If I'm calm, it helps people stay calm. I start freaking out, then everybody else is going to start freaking out. And in this event, you got to have a calm mindset. Calm mindset always gets you through the event here, okay? So, let me see here. Sun feels more environment. I agree with that full-heartedly. Let me see here. What is the time frame for Texarkana? Let's go back over to this real quickly. And I don't know how many people I still have on here. I've got 300 people on here right now. I know it's lunch and stuff like that, so a lot of people can't be tuning in. But make sure at least somebody sees this. Make sure they see it, because this is very important, guys. Okay, so what's time frame for Texarkana? We're talking 4 to 9 p.m. over there in western Arkansas here. That's what's going to be the biggest time frame here across the area. So, Sandy, what about Sheridan? That 167 corridor. I talked to Andrew. Andrew's one of our chasers. I've talked to him about that area. We'll wait and see. I've never liked I-30 corridor setups. And this is what I mean by an I-30 corridor setup. Basically, you have storms. Let's see if I get my arrow just show it a little bit better. You have storms moving from southwest northeast coming up like this. I've never liked that setup. Because it always ends up with tornado-producing storms. It always happens. On I-30, you always see that. We've seen this time and time again. Not comparing events. We've seen this in 2011 with the I believe it was April 27th or something like that. We had that event. We've seen events like this happen in 2014. I never like I-30 setups. I've never liked them because I know what they can do and I know the potential they can have with this. So keep that in mind there. If you live on I-30, watch the situation closely. You guys are not under that high risk for no reason at this point here. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so let's just say, and this is a good point. Okay, let's say you guys in the metro get a tornado. Will you still be streaming while taking cover? If this particular area gets put under a tornado warning. By the way, this gets put under a tornado warning. You're going to hear sirens and stuff go off in the background and all that. I've already tested that out this morning. If that happens, then what will happen is we will transfer power from this main weather center to our secondary weather center down there in southwest Arkansas, which unfortunately may take a hit. So if that happens, then it will go to our third weather center, which is in Jonesboro. So it's going to be a lot of bouncing around with live streaming tonight, just in case. But we should be good to go. If there's a tornado warning, obviously our safety comes first. But yeah, we'll be transferring power to our other weather centers if that is the case. That is a great question across the board here. Okay, so if y'all are tracking when hits come dig us out, I'll tell Derek to go do that. He's going to be out doing that. I'm going to be out here with this, guys. Okay, so this is the time to ask questions right now, guys. And then after this point, it's just going to be straight weather mode at this point. Let me see here. Okay, what about I-40? That's the biggest thing. I've never liked I-40 setups. I never have. And the biggest reason why, like I mentioned before, you've got southwest winds moving in across the board. So, not southwest winds, southeast winds going into the storm as it's moving northeast. So, I've never liked I-30 setups. I-40, I just realized your question. It just triggered in my head. I-40, you're in the medium risk. I would say watch I-40 as well, especially near that Russellville, down towards the metro area. You're going to have to watch that close. I know guidance is wanting to kind of throw some supercells over there as well. So just kind of watch that closely. We'll be watching that closely here, guys. We'll keep you guys updated here. Gwen, I see your comment. Passing the buck and digging people out. Yeah, I don't do that. Nope. That's all Derek. He's going to be out there. If anything happens, he's got it. I'm gonna be here. So I wish there was a way to get text messages when our area has a tornado warning. We lose satellite and Wi-Fi when it storms here. I mean, I wish too. Do you have sirens at least in your area? If you have sirens that go off, that will normally tell you if there's a tornado warning nearby or whatever. But I hate that. If you can, try to move to an area that has that signal and stuff like that. That way you're not missing anything across the board. When this is going to hit Texarkana, we've got timing up here, okay? I know a lot of people are tuning in, kind of wondering about timing. This is what time frame for Texarkana, 4 to 9 p.m. Okay, I know everybody's kind of asking about certain areas. These are your time frames right here. So 11 p.m. to 2, 6 to 12, and 4 to 9 over here. And I know you saw that with the Futurecast, and you're like, Futurecast says a different thing. I'm counting it being an hour, 2 hours, a little bit slower than what it is on here. Just to keep an eye. You always want to account for that whenever you're dealing with severe weather here. Okay, so let me see here. Logan, great question. That is a great question. Had you asked me that 3 hours ago, I'd have told you solid no. This time around, I don't know. It's a 15% hatched now. It's a completely different ball game. I say it's a 50-50, if you want my honest opinion. Like I said before, yes, for 3 hours ago, I'd have told you no. But now that we have a 15% hatch for tornadoes, 9 times out of 10 when it's that high, it normally does go PDS. So I wouldn't be shocked if they try to throw that warning out, especially down there in southwestern Arkansas. I mean, it did a 180. This risk really did a 180. It went from a enhanced risk, 10% to 1. We were worried about the few counties down there in southwestern Arkansas, to now almost the majority of southwestern Arkansas now trying to make its way up to the metro in central Arkansas. So, great question. Like I said before, 3 hours ago, I told you no. This time around, I'm not so sure at this point. The sun just broke here in Little Rock. I can tell. I'm seeing it coming through our window at this point. I have to get my daughter at 4 o'clock in Conway. You'll be good to go. You'll be good to go. I know a lot of people are worried here in central Arkansas about school and stuff like that. 3 or 4 o'clock, you're going to be fine. Okay, I promise you're going to be good to go. It's just after that time frame. We're talking 7, 8, 9 o'clock. After that time frame, that's when we're going to start seeing the action really start getting going here. Allison, that is a solid yes. And that's what I was talking about with Logan's comment. Would it be the 15% hatched? Don't be shocked if they go PDS down there. And of course, if it goes PDS, we will be here. We'll have all that information at this point. Have Derek bring his room just in case he wants to fly the right way. I'll make sure he sees that at this point here. Can we skip all this tonight and just have the storms come back another day? I'd rather just go ahead and just get it over with. Have it come through tonight. Get it over with. That way we get to the weekend and it's much quieter. By the way, you guys are going to love me next week. If you're a cold weather fan, you're going to love me next week. I'd keep an eye on northwestern Arkansas because maybe dealing with a little bit of snow flurries up there by next weekend. We'll talk more about that after this event is over with. But anyways, let me see here. I think that's all the questions right now. I'm kind of going through, and this is the time frame I'm harping right now for the questions here, okay? Because I know a lot of people are still at work and stuff like that. Cloud cover is sticking in Mena right now here, okay? The biggest thing right now is, okay, we got a new update. I'm going to go over that here in just a bit. We just got a new tornado watch that's just got issued for northwestern Arkansas. So, guys, bear with me for just a bit. I'm going to switch this over. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to switch this over. It just came up on my screen. So, we're going to switch this over to our thing real quick. There's now a new tornado watch that's just been issued for northwestern Arkansas. Let's go ahead and talk about that real quick while I have everybody here. So, up here in northwestern Arkansas, there's now a tornado watch that goes until 8 o'clock tonight. 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 2-inch hail with this storm. This is not a particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch. But as I said before, this is what we've got. So a new tornado watch just been issued for northwestern Arkansas. That includes Bentonville, Fayetteville, down to Fort Smith, over towards Harrison. Okay, I'm working on getting new information right now at this point. But as I said before, this is one of the first tornado watches we've got coming up across the area here. Okay, so we don't have any. This is not a PDS watch, by the way. But keep in mind, this is outside of that 15% area. So I'll be really curious to see what they're going to do with this here, guys. But I'm getting more information about that coming up in just a bit. By the way, I see your comment right there. What does PDS? What does that stand for? Let me see if I can get you up. What does that stand for? That means particularly dangerous situation. Like I mentioned before, if you had asked me 8 o'clock this morning, I'd have told you a solid no. But with it being a 15% hatch now for tornadoes, 45% for wind, definitely something you need to monitor very closely as we get towards later on here. Okay, so now, so before that tornado watch is going to go until 8 o'clock, there is now what we call a PWO from the Storm Prediction Center. This includes much of Arkansas, southwestern Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, northwestern Louisiana. Widespread damaging winds, hurricane force potential, tornadoes, a few intense, and also isolated large hail. The threat for tornadoes, severe gusts, and hail exists today across parts of central and northeastern Texas, Oklahoma, southern and western Arkansas, and Louisiana. Review your severe weather plans and procedures now. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio. Stay tuned with us. If a severe thunderstorm warning gets issued for the area, move to the place of safety. They're literally telling people if a severe thunderstorm warning gets issued, move to a place of safety immediately across the board. Okay, so that's what it means at this point. It means, that's what PDS means, particularly dangerous situation. That's what it means. Okay, like I said before, don't stick to the fact that it may do it or may not. Just stick to the fact that there's a tornado watch. And you need to be aware of rapidly changing conditions here. But that tornado watch is going to go until 8 o'clock across the board here. Football games, high school football games, do you think they will cancel? Yes, I wish they would already, honestly. I honestly wish they would, because right now, especially in southwest Arkansas, with a high-end tornado threat, you need to think about everybody else's safety. I mean, football is not that important. It's not important to risk safety of other people and all the other stuff. I do believe there's some places that are postponing it, but I would go ahead and just cancel it and just move it to tomorrow across the area here. Okay, so I saw that question. What do you mean by 5, 10, 15% hash? So basically, I'm going off of the Storm Prediction Center. Let's go back over to this real quick. I'll show you real quick. So this is the tornado risk. So basically, you see that dashed black line down here in southwest Arkansas? That's what we call a hatched area. And this is from the Storm Prediction Center. Okay, so basically, it's an area of highest confidence for the potential of significant severe weather. If it's hatched for wind, it's for hurricane force gusts or higher. If it's hatched for tornadoes, EF2, EF3, EF4, higher from there. That's what it means. Okay, that basically it's the highest of highs of confidence in that area of seeing significant severe weather. That's basically what it means in layman's terms. I can get a little bit more technical with that, but yeah, you wouldn't know it. I'd be sitting here for hours going over all that, but definitely that's what it means. Kind of putting that in layman's terms across the board. Okay, so very overcast over here in southwest Arkansas right now. It is sunny here in Little Rock, but like I said, folks, I know it's cloudy and stuff right now. Don't let that fool you. Okay. Don't let that cloud cover fool you. You're in that risk for a reason. Storm Prediction Center didn't upgrade you for no reason. Keep that in mind across the board, okay? I know cloud cover is making things dark and Foreman, the Ashdown area. You need to be ready to go, guys. That cloud cover is not going to save you from this event. You're going to have to deal with the severe weather threat as it's pushing eastward across the area, okay? So, why not southwest Arkansas first? What does that mean? That we're going to go into PDS. I don't know if they're going to do it. The thing is, that watch is, I don't know if does it include that significant tornado risk? I can take a look at that real quick. I don't know if it actually includes it or not. Let's see if it does. I think it includes portions of it. But yeah, it includes portions of it, but it doesn't include southwestern Arkansas. So they'll probably put another watch down there for northeast Texas and the southwest Arkansas. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But right now, just be sold in the fact that probably the majority of the state's going to be under some sort of a tornado watch before this is all said and done across the area. Okay, but don't let that cloud cover sway you away from taking this threat seriously, guys. you can still get severe weather even if there's cloud cover in place. We don't have any storms or anything right now across the board. I'm taking a look at everything right now. As a matter of fact, we got our first tornado warning over there in Oklahoma right now, right along the Red River at this point. It's right just north of Sherman. And I'm going to stop right up for just a second over here. But yeah, we got our first tornado warning of the day over there in Oklahoma already. So that tells you everything you need to know. Moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. It's not this here in Arkansas, but this is in Oklahoma, by the way. So our first tornado warning of the day already over there in Oklahoma. And it's just now 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be a long evening, folks. It's going to be a very, very long evening. Yeah, I just saw that tornado warning over there in Bryan County, southeastern Oklahoma. That's the first one. Eric, I know everybody's kind of getting worried about percentages and stuff like that. It's a confidence thing. It's just confidence. It doesn't mean that you're going to see, a tornado or anything like that. The 10% is just confidence. Basically, think of it like this. If we tell you there's a 10% risk area for seeing tornadoes, it's 10 times higher than it normally would be on a normal blue sky day. That's basically what it means. It's just confidence at this point, okay? So, let me see here. This risk will shift east again. It's going to power before it gets here. So I would say I'd be content with this thing where it is, because of the fact that once you get into eastern Arkansas, your instability starts dropping. Doesn't mean you need to let your guard down, but I'd be content to where this is right now. Could it expand with the 3 o'clock update? We've got one more update we've got to get through. Could it expand? Possibly. But right now, I do believe it's in a relatively good area. I don't think you need to go any higher than it is right now here. But let's take a look at this. This is the risk for those that are tuning in across the board. Slight risk. North Arkansas down in the southwest, by the way. What I'm holding is a tablet. I see all your comments, by the way. From northwest Arkansas, north central, all the way down into eastern Arkansas, marginal northeast, moderate southwest. There's literally a contrast between the two from northeast Arkansas and southwest. And then right in the middle is central Arkansas with the medium risk or the enhanced risk at this point here. Okay, so keep that in mind across the area here. So my sister's traveling to Oklahoma. That is, I believe, I can try to pull that up. Bear with me for just a minute here. I can try to pull that up here if it doesn't freeze my radar. There's the tornado warning right over here. So we can, and this is outside of our coverage area, by the way, so you don't have to worry about it here in Little Rock or anything like that. But this is the ongoing tornado warning. So I'm going to get this going real quick. I did not mean to do that. Let's take a look at this. Okay. All right. And we're going to get this going. Give me 1 second. All right. Stand by. All right. See if we can switch this over to that. There it is. Okay. All right. So there's what a tornado warning is. It's just going to pop up on your screen here just shortly. There's what a tornado warning is right now over there in Oklahoma. For those that for that one that was wondering, Chelsea, this is what a tornado warning is right now. So let's switch this over to this. In 1 second. There's tornado warning right there. Okay. So this is outside the region, by the way. Let me see if I can turn radar off for just a bit. This is obviously nothing's going on here, but you can see what's going on out there already in Oklahoma and Texas. You've got several severe thunderstorm warnings already, and then there's that tornado warning right there. Okay, tornado warning is gonna go 45 minutes, less than three quarters of diameter hail, but right there along the Red River. Okay, moving northeast at 32 miles per hour here. That is right there on the Red River, just north of Highway 82. It's not here in Little Rock. It's not here in Arkansas or anything like that. This is in southern Oklahoma at this point here, right there along the Red River at this time here. That is the first tornado warning of the day across the area here. So let me see here. They will update. Yeah, you'll get one more update. I think that was Dustin. You'll get one more update. One more. You're going to be at 3 p.m. I don't know if they're going to update it. I think, like I said before, I think it's content on where it is right now. But we'll watch this storm closely. If it starts trying to make a run from in western Arkansas, we'll be here. We'll be ready to go. But after this live stream, guys, we're going straight into coverage mode here. That way we're ready to go just in case anything happens. Heath, great point. Don't panic. I know it's straightforward. It's the most straightforward thing on the planet. But don't panic, guys. Okay? Take a deep breath. I promise you, we're going to be here. We'll keep you guys covered on the latest here, okay? So, let me see here. Okay, so definitely going to be, it's definitely going to be a long night, especially if you got your first tornado warning out of the gate at 1 o'clock in the afternoon over there on the Red River already. That is about 2 hours. 2 hours earlier than I was, and I told you, I knew it with that Futurecast. I said that I knew the HR was a little too slow. You already got your first tornado warning of the day over there in Oklahoma here. It's not in Arkansas yet, but we'll watch it closely, guys. Okay, so cancel the trip to the Queen. Great idea. Jonesboro. I'm gonna make this crystal clear for everybody because I've had people ask me about Jonesboro all day. It is not just a wind threat; it's a tornado threat too. I hate putting labels on very low or low. I don't like when people don't take it seriously just because it's a low threat. It's a tornado threat. It's a wind and a tornado threat combined as one. That's what you're going to be dealing with over there in Jonesboro. I'm going to go over this one last time so you guys can see it, okay? Jonesboro, right over here. Let's get this up, okay? Jonesboro's right here, so you're in the slight risk area at this point. That's going to go for the high wind threat and the tornado threat up here in northeastern Arkansas. I get the concern. I'm not shaming you. I'm not bashing you or anything for asking a question like that. You're good to go. But the biggest thing is, up there in northeastern Arkansas, don't let your guard down just because it's a very low threat. Somebody's going to come up to me tomorrow or Sunday and say, hey, why did you guys not say anything about northeast or eastern Arkansas just because it was low risk? We've been talking about it all day. Somebody's going to say something about it. I'm calling it now. But definitely something that you're going to have to watch very, very closely across the board here. But I hope that answered your question at this point here. Okay, so I just hope every one of my family members know about the storm. I hope so as well. I hope everybody stays safe. We're going to get through this, guys. Okay, take a deep breath. We got this. It's not the first time we've had an event of this magnitude. We'll get through this, guys. We'll be here. We'll keep you guys updated on the latest here. Okay, so I think that's it in terms of all the questions. Let me double check and make sure I'm not missing any more questions at this point. Is it possible that it could burn out between Oklahoma and central Arkansas? This is what we call a failed forecast potential. Basically, it means bust. If you want to be technical, it just means bust. That's just fancy wording for bust. Could that happen? Perhaps. There's always that 20% that it could happen. And thank you for reminding me about that because I'm going to address that before I hop off of here. If this thing ends up as a major bust, I don't want anyone upset. I don't want anyone mad at us or anything like that, okay? Because of the fact that we warned you guys about the potential. If this thing ends up not happening, consider it a blessing. Consider it a blessing. I don't think it's going to be that. With every severe event, you got to have that 20% that it could, may not live up to its hype or whatever. I even see one comment about it. It's just going to be an instant block because you should not be getting mad about severe weather. So keep that in mind here. But there's always that slimmer of potential that it could bust. And that's with any other severe event. You're not going to get a 100% slam dunk severe event without some sort of fail-safe 20% bust potential with this. But yeah, if this busts, consider it a blessing because it could be a really bad situation if it doesn't. Okay, so yeah, excuse me. So let me see here. So is there any help for those that can't afford storm shelter? Biggest thing is Ryan or Jessica, whoever is on that account. The biggest thing is if you don't have a storm shelter, find a gas station, find a grocery store, stay with a family member, stay with a friend. You don't necessarily need a storm shelter to survive a tornado. You can do it without a storm shelter. It's just recommended if you get one. If you can't afford it, that's perfectly okay. The biggest thing is just get to the interior room of your home or stay with someone that has a storm shelter or stuff like that. Also, there are free storm shelters across the state. Feel free to, if you need that information, contact us. We can look it up and see if there's any storm shelters near your area, and then we can go from there. But there are free storm shelters that you can use and take advantage of if that's the case. But definitely, if that's the issue, stay with a family member, stay with a friend, or contact us, and we'll try to get that situated for you guys here. Okay, so let me see here. Looks like it's fixing to start in Drew County. You're good to go right now in Drew County at this point. Thank you, and Arkansas AWW team. I appreciate that so much, man. So after this, it's game time. Bailey, to answer your question, when will we be going live again? I don't plan to go live unless there's a tornado warning right now. Right now, I think I've gone over all the information I can. Everything right now, let's go back over to our overall risk. I've gone over everything I can. Every single thing I can about timing, about the risk, about what's going on, the Futurecast. I've gone over everything I physically can. So right now, the only time I will go live is if, and I mean only if, something happens with the 3 p.m. update. But I don't think they're going to upgrade it any further than it is right now. The next time we will be live, next time you see my face, will be a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning or something like that. Because of the fact that we've got to start getting the weather center set up for live coverage here. So that's the biggest thing, guys. Let me see here. For those storm shelters, check with your local schools as well. Because like I said before, some of them have safe rooms that are open to public when severe weather threatens across the area here. Okay, so I think that's it. In terms of the questions, Cole, I see yours. How concerned are you for tornadoes? Tornado watch, 8 o'clock up there in northwestern Arkansas. Pretty concerned. Keep in mind, you're in a tornado watch right now. Okay, up here in the low risk area. Once again, like I mentioned before, you don't need those higher risk areas to get a tornado here. Let's go back to that. So the current tornado watch is up here right now. Okay, current tornado watch is up here at this point. Right there. So it's in that low risk area. You will have tornado watches across southwest Arkansas and central, potentially eastern Arkansas, but right now the current tornado watch is right there in northwestern Arkansas, in that low risk area. So once again, don't let your guard down if there's a low risk area, guys. I stress that a lot for a reason here, but I'm pretty concerned for our folks up there in northwestern Arkansas. Considered to like Texarkana, I treat every risk like it is a high risk. I treat it like that because if you put labels on other risks, then that's where you start letting your guard down, and that's where it can get dangerous. So up there in northwestern Arkansas, I would say definitely watch the ball. And those storms that are coming out of Oklahoma right now, I think over the next 2 to 3 hours, we'll make a run for northwestern Arkansas. So we'll keep an eye on that at this point here. Okay, so. I hope I don't see you again tonight. Thanks for everything, Cam. Stay safe. We love you. I love y'all too, by the way, across the board. Okay, so let me see here. Where's Chaser Feed? It should be pinned in the comments. If it's not, we'll have it posted on the page across the area here. But yeah, there's a. I think I got everything ready. There is a tornado watch in Fayetteville and the Fort Smith area. Let's go back and talk about that real quick before I hop off of here. Let's see, and it's going to be link 7. No, it's not. It's going to be links 9. There it is. All right, so there's that tornado warning over here. Red River, not going to affect us anytime soon. We're good. But the tornado watch itself, right now, goes for much of northwestern Arkansas at this point. Let's talk about, this is going to be including the following counties, Benton, Carroll, Crawford, Franklin, Madison, Sebastian counties, and Washington up here in northwestern Arkansas. Keep that in mind that this tornado watch goes until 8 o'clock. Those storms, you see the one near Durant, near Sherman right now, those are going to be the storms that you're going to have to watch very closely. That timing map that I made, 3, 4 o'clock, we'll have to wait and see. They're about 2 to 3 hours away from northwestern Arkansas. They're moving northeast at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. But if they're automatically going tornado warning right out of the gate, it's going to be a pretty long evening for us here across the board. One last time with timing. Go back over, we'll lead this up, see if there's any more questions, stuff like that. I think that's it. Let me see here. Is in the yellow list the lowest still a risk? Be safe. Watch for updates. That's the biggest thing. I'm informant. Southwest Arkansas. Timing 4 to 9 p.m. That's your timing over there as well. Thank you for keeping us updated. I love to do it. That's why we're here. That's why we keep you guys updated on the thing. Conway, you are just outside of the medium tornado risk. It's like right there on your doorstep. It's basically between me and this monitor back here. It's that close. So just because you're not in the medium, that means you didn't let your guard down. But it's very, very close. It's very, very close. It's right there on that doorstep. I believe it's right there on that I-40 corridor, right over there near Conway. It's just outside of downtown Conway at this point here. Okay, so let me see here. Time frame there. Do you think it's safer in Memphis? Yeah. your risk will start declining a lot after it gets past Memphis. Memphis is just kind of on that line right now. It's like where it will start to decrease rapidly, and then where the threat is at its max. So it's right there at the line. Still watch it if you're in Memphis, but definitely keep an eye on it across the board. Cabot is Central Arkansas, by the way. I'm not getting a ding when you live. Terry, go subscribe to our YouTube. Go subscribe to our YouTube. Also, one more thing. Our Facebook, at the very top, we fixed this morning. Instead of it saying the subscribe button, it says the follow button. Make sure you click on that, and it takes you there, and you hit the live button. I'm going to make a post about that here in just a second. That way everybody can kind of see what's going on. But that will ding every time it goes live. So that way you're not missing any information here, okay? So Glenwood, definitely Deanne, down there in southwestern Arkansas. Down in Boys and Jonesboro. Paris. Paris is... I want to say, I'm going to say Central. I'm going to say Central with this one. You could argue with it being Western Arkansas. There's a lot of people that say, the River Valley and stuff like that. You can argue that case, but it's kind of more, I would say, a little bit more West Central Arkansas at that point. But yeah, let me see here. National Weather Service. Yeah, I know. I've been reading a lot of stuff on the National Weather Service, man. It's not good across the board. Dollar will be cheering at the Searcy West Memphis game. Hope they will be okay coming back from Searcy. Mandy, will you let me know the timing of that game? I'm really shocked they haven't canceled it. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a higher end deal. Somebody's feeding them wrong information about timing. I don't think you need to be playing football games tonight, guys, across the state. I just don't think it needs to happen because you just got too big of a tornado risk across the board, no matter where you are. No matter where you are at this point, I just don't think it's wise to have football games going right now. I know it's a Friday and stuff like that, but you can always postpone it to tomorrow or postponing another week or something like that. It's not worth it. If you want my honest opinion, it's just not worth it tonight. But I know some people can't postpone those games because of what's going on right now here. Okay, so up in northwestern Arkansas, what time is safest to be off the road? I would want you in the house by 4 o'clock at the earliest. I'm watching some sales coming out of Oklahoma right now. They'll be making its way towards northwestern Arkansas. But if you can be at the house by 4 o'clock, that'd be perfect. 5, 6 o'clock at the latest. After that point, conditions are going to deteriorate, and it's going to go from down here from there. Okay, so also, everybody that's sending stars, let me see if I can get this. Can I get that pulled up? Everybody that's sending stars right now, thank you so much. All of these graphics that you see, whenever everyone sends stars, all that money goes to this. It doesn't go in our pockets or anything like that. It goes straight to this, and it goes straight to covers. That's why we're here across the board. Okay, so let me see. Informing any storm shelters. Like I said before, guys, if y'all need that information, feel free to message us, guys. We'll sit here and kind of go over all that information at this point. What time will they hit Montgomery County? On your screen right now, 4 to 9 p.m. Biggest thing is you gotta know where your counties are at this point. Matter of fact, give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can. I don't know if it's gonna allow me to do it, but let's see if we can get this going at this point. So give me 1 second. Let me see if I can show you guys this real faster. So basically, I know it's kind of towards the end of the live stream, but basically, let me see if I can get this up. Okay? I'm going to leave this up because, like I said before, everybody needs to know where their counties are. Okay? Everybody needs to know where to go during severe weather coverage, stuff like that. You got to know your counties, guys. You have to, especially in situations like this across the board. If it's clear near 80 degrees, man, that's temperature's busted up there in northeastern Arkansas. I told Derek he's gonna owe me $5 for that. I told him it was gonna get near 80 degrees today. He didn't believe me, but definitely near 80 degrees already up there in northeastern Arkansas. Should we worry about upgrades to our warning area? I feel like there's storm fuel with this storm here. Up there in northeastern Arkansas, you guys are kind of what we call a wild card situation. It is a low risk, but we've seen low risk do stupid things before. So that's why I tell you guys so much. Don't let your guard down because it's a low risk area at this point. I know it's not like a broken record. I've probably said that a million times in one day. but don't let your guard down up there in Northeast Arkansas. I'm pretty concerned about those folks up there across the area here. Okay, so many and fifth wheels in RV parks outside of Mena, the Waldron area. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about. If I was actually I was on the phone with one of our chasers earlier, and I was telling him the same thing. That 15% area has got to be in the worst place ever for the state, because it's in Southwest Arkansas. There's a lot of RV parks out there. There's trailer parks and stuff like that. It has got to be in the worst area possible right now here. So if you live in a RV area, in a trailer, mobile home, you need to find some sturdier structures than that, because you're not gonna be safe, especially with severe weather coming up like this. Okay, so I've got it posted up on here. That's the reason why I've got it posted up right now. Know your counties, guys. You got to across the board here. We have this posted on the page. I think it's pinned on the page as well here. Okay, so I see this question. Okay, so do you think it will weaken before it hits Central Arkansas, Jacksonville, and Cabot area? That's going to be a solid no. That is a big no. As a matter of fact, I think it's going to strengthen before it gets here by the time we get towards the 9 here, guys. And that's so far. I hope it's a bust. I hope we don't see a lot of severe weather with this. But this one right here, you see me again, it's going to be tornado warning coverage. That's the next time you see me, we're going to be talking tornadoes. We're going to be talking tornado warning coverage, or somebody's fixing to get hit with a severe thunderstorm. So hopefully you don't see my face again, but if you do, you know what to do. Okay, so I think that's it. I saw that comment. I hope we don't see you again tonight. Stay safe. We love you. I saw that earlier. Brothers in Jonesboro. I think that's it for that. You mentioned something about the hooks earlier on in the past live stream. So basically, what I was talking about earlier, Rose, was let's. I'm not gonna be able to pull that up. I'm gonna have to restart all that. But anyways, so basically, the little hooks within those storms that you saw earlier. Basically, what that's called. Is what we call an inflow tail. Basically, that's where your tornado potential gets going. Well, you have southeast winds going into the storm. That's providing the fuel for the supercell to grow, and you start getting areas of rotation, and that's what starts developing a hook, and that's where you get a tornado right out of that. So keep that in mind across the board. That's kind of similar to what you're seeing out there along the Red River right now. That's the area of rotation. Right there, that's what we mean by those hooks. That's what we mean. That's why you have to watch that close, because those are normally your tornado producers across the area here. I don't like the red. I don't like it either. The quicker we can get to tomorrow, the better. Jessica, yeah, I fully agree. There's some nights I'm a football fan. Go Hogs all day, every day. I bleed red, but the thing is, I don't think it's just worth it. I don't think it's worth playing football tonight, guys. I know there's a lot of high school football stuff going on right now. I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. You've got too much going on right now for it. If it was a lowered threat, if it was a marginal risk for the entire state, I could see it. But I don't. If you got a moderate risk, especially in that area, I'd postpone it and try to move it to Saturday if all possible across the board here. So that's the thing here. Elizabeth, I'm going to make this crystal clear, okay? I will be live regardless of tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings. I know there's a lot of people panicking right now, guys, okay? We're not going anywhere. We promise you, we're not going anywhere. I promise you. I cross my heart. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here. We're going to keep you guys updated on the latest, okay? We're going to be here. Severe thunderstorm warnings, we'll be here. Tornado warnings, we'll be here. PDS tornado watch, we'll be here. Anything that happens tonight, we will be here, and we'll keep you guys updated on the latest here at this point. So, is the risk elevated now? Allison, you're coming in a little late. Don't kill me for that, by the way. Up there in Independence County, you're in a low risk, but still watch it. It's a little higher than it was before. This update that came in at 11:30, it just, I mean, I would, like I said, I was expecting a moderate. I didn't think it was going to be that far into Arkansas. I thought it was going to be like that far southwestern corner. Didn't think it'd come all the way up to the almost pretty much up there near the I-40 area at this point here. Okay, so let me see here. Can that moderate risk be expanded? That is a Storm Prediction Center question. You got to go to Norman for that one. I don't know. I thought I knew them This morning, I was wrong. I was wrong. That is a pretty expansive moderate risk across southwestern Arkansas. If it happens, I don't know yet. I don't know what they're gonna do. They'll probably leave it like this because of ongoing situations here. But I wouldn't be shocked to see it go something like this within time. I don't know yet. We'll see. It just depends on storm mode and everything like that. But we'll see. But I was expecting this. I was not expecting this thing to be that widespread into the state here. So just kind of keep that in mind here. Whenever you're dealing with Arkansas, you deal with the unexpected all the time. But it threw a lot for a loop. I mean, it threw a lot for a loop at this point. But let me see here. Let me see. Yeah, definitely. Eastern Arkansas, yeah, you guys are kind of teeter-totter right now. Longview to Central Arkansas. I've got friends traveling. Ashton, do me a favor and just tell them to pay attention to the weather. Just pay attention to the weather tonight. Have a plan ready to go. That way, if something happens, you'll be good, okay? And I know there's a lot of people freaking out and stuff like that. I know they're live on here until they get off air. Even if we go offline, guys, we're going to be here. We've got several backup points across the state. One in particular in Jonesboro, one in southwest Arkansas, one here. We've got several backup points, so we're not going anywhere. You're not going to lose us tonight with coverage. I promise you. We're going to be here. We're going to keep you guys updated on the latest here, okay? So I think that's it in terms of all the questions. Rose, I see yours. Can the tornadoes in the moderate risk cities travel to the enhanced? Definitely. Oh, no doubt. Like I said, severe storms don't judge. They don't care about risk areas. They don't care about anything else. They don't judge. So definitely that can happen here, guys. But I think that's it across the board. This is the severe weather outlook that you're looking at, by the way, Donna. We'll continue to keep you guys updated. I want everybody right now, take a deep breath, relax. We're going to be here. We're going to keep you guys updated. Next time you see my face, it's going to be your coverage. And I'm hoping you don't see me a lot tonight, but I've got a bad feeling that you will. So stay with us, guys. We'll continue to keep you guys updated. Stay with the page as well. That way you're not missing any kind of information or anything like that. And we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.